What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Get Real. Let's Get Real, an interactive talk show for guys. Interactive meaning that you call us, and we help you talk through whatever you got to talk through. Our phone number, 1-800-771-1025. Just a kind of a variety of things, of whatever that just may be plaguing you is not the right way to put it, but you feel better when you talk about it, and this is a show to do that. This is not going to get laughed at. We, quote-unquote, hold space and all that, all the good stuff. But what Spanish and I have identified, by the way, my name is Shark. What we have identified is that, like, if you talk, you feel better. And if you understand what the thing is that you're feeling inside, you can maybe start to move forward with whatever it is that you're going through. Addiction, family issues, you don't like your boss, you don't like yourself, whatever it might be. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a comment. One of our videos lately got a lot of views.
Oh, yeah?
The one where we were talking about that kid Shane.
Oh,
of
man.
just all the stuff in high school.
Yeah, high school's a rough time, man, and a lot of people, everybody can relate to that.
Well, and I think one of the reasons why is just it's one of those very, very specific things in life which you can look back at being 17 and you can say, man, if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
And like, you just wouldn't care.
100%.
I just wouldn't care.
You would lean, I would, and I know you would too, lean more into the weird than anything else.
I would be
right?
So weird.
100%.
I would
100%.
And now it's like, it's interesting. I reflect back on kids in my high school and I was like, the weird ones, I was like, man, y'all didn't even realize how cool you were.
Right? You know?
You guys were the best.
So envious.
Yeah. And they're the ones who are like on Broadway now. And then like the baseball star is like, you know, selling real estate in a small town or something.
Yeah, dude. So, living out of his car on the weekends.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is if you are watching this on YouTube, drop a comment and please hit subscribe. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and a written review because that helps others find this show and find this podcast. Those numbers have been going up lately too.
Yeah.
Just thought I would share that with you. So we were talking about something off air, which I think is, I don't know, probably slightly more interesting than movies that make you cry. But I work with, he's not listening. I work with a guy who, I hope he's not. I'll leave names out of this to protect the guilty. But I work with a guy who I've just was observing like over the last month or so is I pick up on a nervousness from him.
Oh, yeah.
But part of the nervousness that I pick up on him is how he handles situations, and he handles it through humor.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they're just ill-timed humor, and it's like it's not funny. But like as I'm sort of, I don't know, psychoanalyzing him in real time on a Zoom call, I'm like, you're using humor to shield nervousness. You're using humor in a way that's like, I don't know. And I'm not saying I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm all stable and everything. But it's so obvious sometimes when people, like you made a comment the last break. You said in the theater after Saving Private Ryan, I was like, oh, somebody chopping onions in here because you were going through a deflection moment because you didn't want people to know you were crying. Which I wouldn't care. I would be like, dude, I'm crying too.
I know. That's why, that's why I like hanging out with you, because you don't shame me for feelings.
No, just the opposite.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like you got to feel feelings.
Yeah.
Like the answers to the universe are in the feelings you feel.
100% agree with you.
But like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
like
very much.
Humor is one of those things where as guys, like I get it, man. We crack jokes. We're like, ragging on each other, that sort of thing. Like I get that and I do that and that's fun. But it's when it's like, oh, you just made a joke at the worst time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to handle this situation.
That's a tough situation to be in for both ends of it. I used to use self-deprecating humor as a shield because it was just easy.
Totally.
And the older that I've gotten, especially now, I try to use humor as a way to connect rather than shield people from my feelings. So instead of self-deprecating, you offer a light joke about, something that everybody's familiar with. Like crying, you don't say, oh my God, who's chopping onions? You say something like, I don't mind crying on Wednesdays because the water's always warm in the shower on Wednesdays. You're offering people a view into who you are. You're making it light. You're making it funny. You're making it about connecting as opposed to being in a Zoom meeting and being like, hey, somebody's got bad breath in here. Am I right? And you're like, no, dude, you're the only one in your room. Yeah. Please stop making jokes.
Right.
Right.
Well, like what you just said, That's actually really good because you used humor to acknowledge that you are secure in your own self in a way that's like you basically admit through what you just said. Hey, I cry.
Yeah.
And like, and I believe strength is in vulnerability.
100% it is. And it allows, I know this to be true because I see it all the time in my day to day. When you offer somebody your softness with open arms and you show them that you're not ashamed of your softness and you're not worried about what other people are going to think of it, it allows everybody else around you to like exhale and remember, oh, I'm allowed to be a human being too. I'm allowed to have feelings. I'm allowed to open up and share them because if this guy can do it, that means I could definitely do it. And look at how much fun he's having while he's doing it. It doesn't have to be this heavy, scary thing. It could be a light, fun experience.
Yeah, I had an experience this week, little different but kind of the same. So, as a business coach, my day job, spent a lot of day on Zoom, and I was at Grassroots in downtown St. Pete, which is where I work. I don't know, 4 days a week. I go upstairs. I love the vibe there to work there, but I'll go up there, and like a lot of people up there, I'm on a Zoom call. And when I'm on a Zoom call with a client and they're going through it and they're having a really hard day, like I don't hold back and I'll say things out loud that are like, I hope they're comforting to the other person, like in a very genuine, authentic way. Like I'm very much like, if they're struggling with like their business and they're struggling with their mindset and they're struggling with like, do I want to do this? Am I good at this? Like most of my job is answering the question, am I good at this? Yes, you are. But like, I kind of zone in on that person and I'm like, so anyway, so I had this call, I don't know, Wednesday of this week, and I get off and the dude sitting next to me was like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I got clients. I help early stage entrepreneurs get their business off the ground. And he was like, man, he's like, I don't mean to intrude, but that was, wow. He's like, can we have coffee sometime? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And like, for me, that was like, that made my day, if I'm being honest. But I was like, yeah, like there was a moment for me where I was like, I just show up authentic. Like, and that's the best.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what. So in the conversation, again, to bring it back to what you're saying, is like, you just show up like as you, not trying to be somebody else, not trying to use humor as a mask, not trying to do anything, but other than just be yourself. Like the best comes out of that.
100%. And it allows people, it gives people the space to be themselves. And it reminds people that they don't have to be afraid of who they are, because that's a terrifying thing. Identity is terrifying when you hold it up in the mirror and you know that everybody's judging you, or you believe that everybody's judging you. It's absolutely terrifying. So when you have a moment where you're sitting at a kava bar and you overhear a guy lifting somebody up without shrinking themselves from an authentic, centered place, it hits. Yeah. And it makes you go, damn, I didn't even know I needed to hear that, and the guy wasn't even talking to me, but it resonated. So now I feel comfortable enough to say something. That's what you did, is you created comfort, Yeah. You created the safe space.
I did.
And now look what now he's going to remember you forever.
Well, what's cool is like I told him, so like, I don't know, at some point this week we're going to like pull away from work and like have a coffee. I have no idea what he wants to talk about. But for me it was like, and again, it made my day when you said that. But you're exactly right, is like that's just one scenario, but all the millions of other scenarios where if you just show up and you're just who you are, what that does to set other people at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think about, so I said this to you earlier, last Friday night's show was not good from my perspective. Maybe it was fine for the listener's perspective, but it wasn't good from my perspective because I was in a tornado with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to shelf that and do the show, et cetera. But it made, like, that conversation with that dude at Grassroots this week, I was like, how can I show up with my wife like that when like the storm clouds are in? And I don't know, because I just get in that, and then there's anger and yelling and stuff like that.
That's a hard place to be in. And I hope I know you know this, so forgive me for repeating something, but I think it's worth repeating.
Sure.
And that is the the simple fact that you're able to articulate everything that you're going through with your wife, like saying, you want to be able to be present with her from a place of alignment and being centered instead of anger and fear, you've already taken more than the first step. So, everything, it's all a process. And I wish we could just snap our fingers and get from A to B, but that's not how any of it is supposed to work.
No, you're right.
Giving yourself that love and that grace to allow yourself to evolve into the man that you want to show up as, that's the secret sauce. It's not rushing anything. It's not wishing you could do better. It's just taking a second to allow yourself the ability to be present with love. And, man, I've seen you do it. You've done it with me before. You have the ability, It's just hard in those situations because you care very much about your wife and her well-being and the relationship and the kids and all of it. That all bubbles up in a single moment of a reaction. Sometimes it's impossible to not react that way. So in those moments, just know that doesn't make you a bad man. It doesn't make you a bad husband or any of that. It just means you're human.
Yeah, and you're right. It is all a process.
Yeah.
Like it's why it's like in reference to like prayer and meditation, it's a practice.
Yeah.
You don't just do it once. Like it's not like, oh, I figured it out, so the next time we fight, I'm going to nail it. No, I'm probably going to screw it up. Yeah. And that's okay.
And it is okay. And the beautiful thing about the situation is your wife loves you enough to she loves you enough to that she's still there. You know what I mean? Like she hasn't left. She hasn't disappeared. She hasn't, done the things that avoidant or anxious attachment people do when they make you feel confused or conflicted. She shows up, even though it may not be her best self or the version that she wants to show up as.
Yeah.
She's still showing up, and that, to me, is a level of respect still that's worth feeling grateful for, because I've seen people do way worse to people they've loved for a long time where they just leave out of nowhere. And I can't imagine what that has to feel like.
Oh, yeah.
So, like you're good. I love you, man. I love you. And sometimes it hurts to see you going through some of this stuff because I know, like, I can feel how you feel in those situations where you just want to throw your hands up sometimes and go, Jesus Christ, like, we love each other. Why? Why are we even, why is this? But you can't do that. You got to be composed. You got to be, the container for the chaos in those moments, even though you also want to be like, bitch, I could be chaos too, damn it.
It's so funny, because I was literally like, okay, you want chaos? Let's go chaos.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Well, and it's like I found myself last Thursday night when this really erupted, was like, oh, I'm going to be chaos too. I'm going to say bad words.
Yeah.
And dude, it lasted for like 20 seconds.
I know, it's hard. It's not you.
I don't think that's not me.
Yeah.
All right. But here's what I will say, and I'll tease this into our next break, is that I was having this conversation with another friend, and he told me something that he learned. I think he learned it from his therapist, but how to see your partner in a way that when he told me this like piece of advice or this wisdom, I was like, whoa, like it was deeply profound to how we look at our partners. So I will share that piece of wisdom next. Our phone number is 1-800-771-1025. Remember, this is your show, so you can call and talk through whatever we're talking through or whatever you got to talk through. This is Let's Get Real on 1025 The Bone.